Blog Talk Radio.
Could the biggest science project ever lead to the end of the world?
The massive gas line ruptures, could it happen in your neighborhood?
How many sex offenders live in your neighborhood?
Are there terrorist cells in your neighborhood?
Marijuana, could it be in your neighborhood?
Are your kids being brainwashed? I'll tell you who's taking cues from the Nazis.
A town in California is insisting that every second grader learns about gay penguins.
Social engineering of America's children.
We'll have global governance run by elites.
We'll have our own little China workforce right here in America.
Doomsday 2000. Killer bees. Bird flu.
The terror threat. The superbug.
Global pandemic.
Illegal aliens.
Gun restrictions.
Right-wing terrorism.
Evangelical Christianity.
Gay marriage.
Death panel.
The flip-flop.
Indoctrination.
Militias.
Anarchy, chaos, and cannibalism.
Gosh, we better wake up soon. Or we're gonna wake up dead.
Hi, this is Tatiana Moroz, and you're listening to Journalistic Revolution.
I gotta get myself out of this town, and I don't know where I'm going.
And welcome to the Journalistic Revolution. This is Robert Wasman.
And I'm his awesome co-host, Matthew Dalton.
Yes, you are, sir. You are quite awesome. Today, of course, we start like we always do with Peace News Now, who is going to be specifically talking about Bitcoin. We're also going to be talking about we're also talking about the dad who died during arrest. He was begging for his life, and the cops took the witness video. The new superhuman math that can give you superpowers. That looks interesting. We're going to be doing our segment, Whoops, Wrong Meeting again. We're also going to be reading an article from Cop Block about why I am joining the Open Carry March on D.C. We are going to discuss what a libertarian is, both philosophically and politically. And we're also going to be talking about the IRS has now apologized for targeting conservatives for tax scrutiny, specifically the Tea Party. No, not no. The IRS has a problem with the Tea Party? No way. And
you telling me the IRS has an agenda? Come on.
No, yeah, no way. And then of course we're going to discuss what civil disobedience is, and that's really where I would like you guys to call in tonight, because I would like to know what civil disobedience means to you. Now, granted, we're going to define it as it has been throughout history and through facts, but I would like to know what you think it is.
And we'll give a few, good examples of how civil disobedience has played a role in our nation, starting from the Boston Tea Party on.
And just to let you know, Matthew, we are airing live on Liberty Movement Radio right now as well.
Wow, that's news to me.
Yeah, there you go. I thought you'd enjoy that. All right.
I love it.
Okay, so of course we're going to start with the Peace News Now, which is specifically talking about Bitcoin. But if you listen to the show since we started, I mean, this is only our 5th episode, but we're big proponents for Bitcoin and any alternative forms of currency. So without further ado, here is Derek J. from Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree with Peace News Now.
This is your Peace News for Friday, May 10th, 2013. Silver is trading at $24 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $120 per Bitcoin. Gift, spelled G-Y-F-T, is a mobile gift card app that works on your Android smartphone. Today, Gift announces that now users can purchase mobile gift cards using Bitcoin, thanks to a new partnership with BitPay Inc., the world's leading payment processor for Bitcoin. Vinny Lingham, Gift co-founder and CEO, said, quote, "By using our existing network of retailers, we are able to offer Bitcoin consumers the ability to instantly spend their Bitcoins at hundreds of merchants. Customers are now able to buy mobile gift cards using Bitcoins and redeem them at over 50,000 physical retail locations across the U.S., including Gap, Lowe's, Sephora, GameStop, American Eagle, Sports Authority, Nike, Marriott, Burger King, Fandango, Brookstone, and many more household brands. Tony Galippi, co-founder and CEO of BitPay, said, quote, "The partnership with Gift and BitPay blows the doors open to major retail for Bitcoin users. Any shopper in a participating retail store with Bitcoins on their Android device can easily convert Bitcoins into a store gift card and pay for their purchase. The whole process takes less than 1 minute and can be done on a single mobile device. To try it for yourself, simply download the Gift app in the Google Play Store on your Android phone. It's spelled GYFT. Then select Bitcoin as the payment method at the checkout and make the payment from your Bitcoin wallet. With Gift, there is no need to carry around those plastic gift cards anymore, and now Bitcoin users can spend their new currency at almost any major store in the U.S. Are you tired of the U.S. government killing people around the world? Are you tired of having to pay for their murderous rampage? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. Bitcoin takes the power of money from government and returns it properly to the people. By continuing to use the dollar, you are helping the government. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at WeUseCoins.com. Since the enactment of the Unconstitutional Federal Controlled Substances Act of 1970, the Drug Enforcement Agency has prevented the production of hemp within the United States. Many hemp supporters feel that the DEA has been used as an attack dog of sorts to prevent competition. Hemp products would create serious market competition with major industries such as oil, cotton, paper, lumber, and others. Now, Colorado's industrial hemp bill passed unanimously in the House and by a vote of 34-1 in the state Senate. A signature from Governor Hickenlooper makes it law. If the bill does become law, Colorado will nullify unconstitutional federal laws and regulations which ban farmers from growing this remarkable product. Currently, the United States is the world's largest importer of hemp. China and Canada are the world's top two exporters. The federal government has no constitutional authority to ban the production of this industrial plant, but has persisted in preventing its domestic production. The result? At your local grocery store, the products with hemp must be imported from another country at a higher cost for you and fewer farmers in America. According to the Congressional Resource Service's own reports, the United States is the only developed nation that doesn't cultivate industrial hemp as an economic crop. Hemp's prohibition is directly and foolishly related to lies told almost a century ago for the purpose of stirring up a drug war. Because of the private-public relationship between prisons and governments, those lies continue today, where the U.S. now cages more people per capita than any other country in the world. As of last year, there were over 6 million Americans incarcerated by the state, more than were in Stalin's Gulag Archipelago. Recent congressional research indicates that the hemp market consists of over 25,000 various products, and that the U.S. imports over $400 million worth of hemp from other countries. Bills like this one would be a boon to a troubling economy by creating jobs here instead of sending money to other countries. Also, the public benefits from lower prices on products that use hemp. If you live in Colorado, contact Governor Hickenlooper's office and encourage him to sign the bill. His number's in our show notes. If you live elsewhere, contact and encourage your state representative to introduce the Hemp Freedom Act, link in the show notes. This has been your daily update on the peaceful evolution. Watch more on the Next News Network, and for links and videos, subscribe to Peace News at youtube.com/peacenewsnow. For peacenewsnow.com, I'm Derek J, reminding you that peace is the way.
I really love his updates.
Yeah, I mean, I like his voice. I hate to sound weird, but he gives you the news, a lot of good news, and he gives it to you in in this calm voice, so you don't feel like you're being threatened with your life like a lot of other news organizations.
What? You mean a news organization without sensationalism? Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
So, we're going to start off our show kind of on a down note, to be honest. It's really bad news, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with innocent down.org, but track of stuff like this, and I really think you should check into it on a daily basis. A dad died during an arrest, a pot arrest, mind you.
Oh man, that dangerous drug.
Yeah, that drug that causes people to, create wars. Anyway, but the witness videos were seized, and this happened on the 9th. It happened yesterday, and it's just. Go ahead.
No, I mean it's really sad that you have to open something up in this, and we unfortunately we're not going to get to see the video of it. But the dad, he died during the arrest. He was begging for his life, according to witnesses. But the witness videos, apparently there were several people taking video. All their videos were seized.
Yeah.
By the police.
Yeah, I was actually just reading that. People who actually say they witnessed the incident, as well as Silva's family members, described a scene in which the deputies essentially were beating a helpless man to death. They were indignant that video had been taken away by deputies. I mean, and this just goes to show. Now, I know there are some that hate all cops, or at least the idea of them, and I get that. Okay, but I mean, even in the voluntary circles that I hang with, we agree that there's going to be a private security force if we were ever to reach our ideals. So cops have purpose in some degree or another, but this is just to show how out of control they really are.
I mean, really, it's not like the cops make it easy to endear them. I mean, it's not like they make it, real easy when they do things like this. So, and then you read the cops were put on administrative leave, but they're paid, and then, they were justified. So, the cops really kind of cause this hatred on themselves.
Well,
so.
Yeah, I mean, besides the normal stigma that comes with being an officer, and we have to admit that there is stigma that comes with being an officer. I mean, my brother at one time said he was going to be a cop, and I hit the wall. Because it just has a stigma. And if you know my brother, you know that he's not the best candidate to become an officer. He would be one of these guys we're reading about. But
oh no.
My brother spent now this is from Christopher Silva, okay, the brother of the man who was killed. He said, my brother spent the last 8 minutes of his life pleading, begging for his life. Now, I just want to point something out, okay, especially since there's talks about crisis actors a lot lately, all right? Now, I don't go into the theory that crisis actors are being used to facilitate false flags. I mean, it's very possible. I don't put it past them, but I haven't seen any evidence that convinces me of it yet. But what I do know crisis actors are used for, and there's plenty of video out there, is to desensitize police and military to the beggings of American civilians.
Yeah.
They have video of them screaming, "You're violating my constitutional rights. I'm an American. How can you do this? Please, for the love of God, let me go." Stuff like that to desensitize these people. And apparently it's showing.
Wasn't there like a report that just recently came out where the police officers were using pictures of children as target practice?
I don't think it was children. I think it was pregnant women, if I remember the article correctly.
So children and women.
No. Remember, a fetus isn't a child. Anyway, all right. I know. I just scratched the surface. We get a call on that one later. Okay, so all right, but the point is that this is deplorable, and what's even more deplorable is that you know nothing is going to come of this. Those videos will not be released. These cops will not be punished, and if they are, going to get administrative leave with pay. And regardless, there's now a child who is fatherless because a cop overstepped his bound. And it's just a stupid double standard, because if we were to do that to a cop, if a civilian was to do that to a cop, or if a civilian was to do that to another civilian, he would be all over the news, completely turned into the villain. But the cop, later they're going to say, after the internal investigation, they're going to say, we found that he worked within accordance of the standards and operations of whatever police department that was, Bakersfield, California.
Yeah. And it's pretty much the typical statement. I think they share that amongst the entire police force across the nation, because it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, and again, I'm a very middle of the road kind of guy. I don't think all cops are bad. I've had plenty of amazing experiences with police officers, even police officers who helped me stay out of jail and helped me not get arrested.
Isn't that the one that the snot out of you?
Oh, the one that beat the crap out of me? Yeah, technically. I mean, he beat the crap out of me pretty proper, but he didn't take me to jail, and that was the deal, so, But no, I'm talking about other ones, like when I was hitchhiking the country, and I was doing hiking from protest to protest. And this officer pulled me because I was hitchhiking. Apparently the law in D.C., 2 weeks before I got there, they passed a law that says it's illegal to hitchhike. And the other cops wanted me to go to jail. They were trying so hard to make me go to jail, but he stood up for me. He actually was all like, "No, you're not taking him to jail. I was the officer first on scene. I get to make the call. Kid's not hurting anybody." So there are enforcement officers, but I think over time they have that mentality kind of stripped away from them through cynicism.
Yeah, it's sad.
And I really wish people would just take a moment to pray to whatever God or universe that they believe in, and pray for the family of the victim.
Now, I'm not justifying what cops do, so don't get the wrong idea. Because I immediately have a solution to solve this problem after I make this statement. But I mean, if you had a job where you had to deal with garbage and every day, and every day of your life you dealt with the scum of the earth, and that would wear on you. Now, the solution: decriminalize drugs, lessen most of the crime and less of the cops' problems. So, they only put it on themselves by even enforcing those laws.
Absolutely. So, and I agree. And quote Rebel Inc. You no longer have to follow the establishment's laws, peace officers. Mm-hmm. You no longer have to do this. So stop. Support us. You're going to have to side with us eventually. Yeah, because you're just a tool to the system anyway.
Yeah.
And that's my 2 cents. So let's try to move towards something a little more positive. How would you like to be a superhuman, Matthew?
I would absolutely love it. But I already know my senses are like superhuman style. I don't know how much this mask would help.
Really? That's your.
No, I couldn't resist.
Before we move on to that, I'm sorry. I wanted to bring this up. This was kind of a last minute thing that I wanted to bring up too.
Thanks for telling me.
No problem. That's why it's called last minute. So for all those who will say, "Oh, this is just an isolated incident," okay, about the dad who was murdered by the police.
Really? We're saying that?
No, that's an argument I hear often every time one of these things happen, which is funny because that happens a lot. Today, no, I'm lying. It was May 8th at 4:17 p.m. A Florida man in Volusia County, the county I reside in, he was being pulled over for a seatbelt stop because we have seatbelt laws in the state of Florida. And he was being pulled over. He decided to run, whatever reasons, but that's not here nor there, because the cops decided to run him down with their cop car and kill him.
I'm at a loss, dude.
A man is dead because he didn't put his belt on it. Not because he got into a car accident. He got out of the car just fine. He didn't even wreck the car during chase. He got out and ran on foot.
And the cops purposely ran him down.
Purposefully.
They'll get administrative leave. They'll get a vacation, paid vacation. They'll go hang out with their wife and kids somewhere in the Bahamas. and then they'll be right back to duty as soon as the investigation says that they did everything proper.
Yeah, and this happened, I mean, literally within 5 miles of my home. Now, I would go a little bit farther, and I'm sorry I'm getting on a little bit. This kind of hits me at home because I've had in-laws that were killed by police officers. So this kind of hits home for me. And I'm sorry I'm keeping on it, but besides the prayer that I request that you guys do, or the meditation, or whatever it is you believe in, you know what? Besides that, you need to get freaking involved. You really need to hold your police accountable through Cop Block, Cop Watch, or just doing it yourself, or calling the police station and telling them about the news that you saw and how it is unacceptable. And in organized rallies, Adam Kokesh style, if you will. But it's sad. So this is why we need the superhero mask.
Yeah. Good transition. I like that.
Thank you. It was clever, if not kind of rude. But all
right.
The Iron Mask. You go off. I need to calm down off my last rant.
All right. A group of students at Royal College of Art in London have created 2 masks that can give you superhuman sight and hearing. And basically, they put together these masks after months and months of research. And basically, you can wear one that covers your eyes, and it's got like a camera, it can see through, but it slows down, or I guess it's odd to explain, and there's a great video on it. It kind of shows you can isolate movement, and you can watch as people's movement goes from point A to point B, kind of like a bell almost. And the hearing is even cooler because you can actually isolate sound. They showed one where they're at a concert and they're using the mask technology, and they isolate the sound from the drummer. We're talking with the crowd cheering, the guitarist, bassist, and the singer. They isolate just the drummer, then just the singer, and then just band without the crowd. It was really truly amazing, and it's basically the purposes for this. I mean, they were talking about sports technology, and I know a lot of people out here in the libertarian or liberty world don't really care about sports. But, this is the free market at work. These are people put together products that can be useful to others in an open market where they can actually use the technology to break things down, break down movement. It was a really great movie. Video. It was only about 7.5 minutes long, and it was just really neat. And these kids from a college in London.
And this was at Mashable.com, so people can go and look that up. Mashable.com, mask-superhuman. So you can go look this up yourself. We're not just blowing smoke up your ass. There's a mask that can make you like Daredevil, except not blind.
Now, there's some of you out there who absolutely despise Google Glass. They do bring up Google Glass in the article, so don't get mad at me. But they're talking about how it can pair up with Google Glass. So I know that, I don't really know much about Google Glass, but I've seen a couple people attack it. One person specifically, I can't think of his name. But yeah, it's still really neat technology. It's neat to see what some kids can do at a college and creating great technology that has so many uses.
Okay, we might come back to that later, but we got to hurry this along. We're going to go to our new segment that we've been trying out called Whoops, Wrong Meeting. Okay, and if for those of you who don't know, Whoops, Wrong Meeting is about blatant lies or misinformation or just crap that the media does. So here's the intro to that.
Because to me, it's a great example of a totalitarian government's ability to, manage information and thus keep us in the dark any way they deem. Oh, sorry, wrong meeting.
Shit. Okay. NBC has been caught once again selectively editing video to serve their purposes.
What?
Yep. This one is about gun control and a speech that Vice President Joe Biden did. And this was on today. This was Friday. This is when we learned about it. I forget when the president's speech was. It was at the State Department.
Yeah.
But Biden's speech had absolutely nothing to do with guns. Okay. Nothing. Let me see if I downloaded it. No, I didn't. Okay. But you can go to Breitbart.com, and it's called News Again Caught Selectively Editing. Okay.
NBC News again caught selectively editing.
No, for the cert. Oh, yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, NBC News, and when you watch it, it really does. When you watch just the video, the way they edit it, you're like, oh, Joe Biden's gunning for gun control again. Look at him go. You know, and oh, it's believable. I would have bought it if I watched NBC, right? But I would have bought it. And then right below, you'll have a video of Biden at the Benghazi Plaque Memorial. And it was about Benghazi, and they're using it for local gun control pushing.
I get that. No, I don't get it. I don't get the biased agenda that these news organizations push, because in my mind, you would want to get as many viewers as you possibly could, and in my mind, you alienate a whole section of viewers. If I was Fox News, CNN, or MSNBC, I would try to be as unbiased as possible, try to push the news all the way across the board, and try to steal viewers from everybody. It just drives me absolutely insane.
Well, no. If you were Fox News, MSNBC, or something, you would be so interconnected in the web of lies, you wouldn't be able to, because they would end up taking you out anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you can't tell the truth in that kind of media today. That's why we do what we do. That's why we're calling on everyone to become citizen journalists. That's why we're asking everybody to fact check the news and call them out on their bull crap. You know, it's because you can't report the truth. If you do, you get fired. That lady just last year proved that.
Well, I would like to take this time to personally thank Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC for giving us a job to do. I would like to thank them personally for giving us a reason to do what we do.
Yeah, we knew we were onto something, I think, when we did when we were still doing the web show, and we did Don't Trust the News episode. And I forget what the statistics were, but it was unbelievably high on how many people do not trust the mainstream media and are now getting sources of news from alternative forms of media.
Yep. Well, thank you. I thank you. If I win an award someday, I'll make sure to thank them again. But I doubt I'll win an award.
If I ever won an award for that, I'd turn it down. I'd be like, "Are you serious? Do you realize I did this from my living room?" Anyways, but let's move along here. Speaking of alternative media, we are going to go ahead and take a break and go ahead and promote a same-side entertainment. People I really, really get behind, because in the end, aren't we all on the same side? I do not have it ready. All right, here we go.
It's riveting.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
just what to do with myself on this permanent vacation. Let's blaze one. Fill the gut with some bacon and eggs with the bread and the raisins baked done. But wait, man, what do I sound Jamaican? The whole room get consumed with sounds that sound so odd. Boom from that dude who pounds like Balboa. Trying to change the mood, I say fuck it. I still chill with the kids from the booze that blaze nuggets. And yes, they love it. I'll probably buy them a beer. I'm only trying to make the music I've been dying to hear. Been pining for years. It's time to party like a rock star. Lazy boy recline style, knock your socks off. Oh shit, that beats is back. And now you ain't gotta wonder where the weed is at. Cause the first thing you learn about us is that we keep a constant cloud of hot smoke around us. So if you're down, then join the rotation. This joint won't get played on your radio station. Cause any fool knows there's no hope. No, we're dirty like some broke hobos with no soap. And that's not clean. But now we finally focus. These obscene rhyme schemes are probably hopeless. So smoke this. Take your Visine dosage. Approach is ferocious like stoners or roast clips. What's the hold up? Pack the bowl up. Hold your chick when she act bipolar. Say no to the Prozac, yeah to the Trozac. It's from the earth, but y'all already know that. Oh my God, it's a beautiful day. We're gonna step outside on this beautiful day. We're gonna get so high on this beautiful day. You can't fuck up my vibe on this beautiful day. Not just bum rush, I'm blunt guts nuts with sticky luscious. I'm clutching sunrise to dust with sticky nuggets. Nomads with notepads, no. Now what we do, we grab our gonads and blow mad flows like Chicky 2. You'll see the stick click, resist the grips of evil people. Be deceitful, watch me rewrite the script to see the sequel. Peaceful, days in the haze, but thick plays. Feel the craze from the face of night gaze, the shoulder blade. Resting in hammocks, packing the stacks in the attics, back in the back of some little fat Latin backflipping actress. Hacking devices, the tightest types of buds you can cross. Soon as you like this, then get righteous, righteous blow up your block. Brain teasers and mind fucks, man, I'm feasting my times. I think I bite on the crops like my dog, McGruff Gruff. Numbers and rubbers inside the line of my pocket. Check my seat out the cockpit, say hi, we puff puff. Oh my God, it's a beautiful day. We're gonna step outside on this beautiful day. We're gonna get so high on this beautiful day. You can't fuck up my vibe on this beautiful day. Learn how to build a beat up from the ground up. Get your feet up, and if you got it, blaze your weed up. Cause I'm a fiend, and what I mean by a fiend is it seems to me weed makes it more fun to breathe, so I'ma keep a steady supply of that shit going through. Give or take about an ounce a week now. Someone's gonna wanna try to denounce me, but by now you heard the whole goddamn CD, so you know I got a little affinity for the droves. That gotta be the equivalent of a spud web throwback. I'm 5'8", my 45's my weight, but wait, there's more. I'm about to wage this war. I suppose I can see without specs or contacts, though I admit I got a Napoleon complex. The general pain in your ass, bet he had a rash. Too bad I got the only bottle of Benadryl. Oh my God, it's a beautiful day. We're gonna step outside on this beautiful day. We're gonna get so high on this beautiful day. You can't fuck up my vibe on this beautiful day. Oh my God, it's a beautiful day. We're gonna step outside on this beautiful day. We're gonna get so high on this beautiful day. You can't fuck up my vibe on this beautiful day.
God, I love Deadbeats.
Where do you find this music? Oh, wait, it's Deadbeats?
Deadbeats are a beautiful
Wow.
day. I figured, I'm drinking, I'm smoking, and I figured it was a good song to play. Cigarettes, of course.
Cigarettes. No, I love Deadbeats, but I haven't heard that song. It's a great song.
Man, I've listened to everything they've just like Blink, Tatiana Moroz, Jordan Page. I mean, all the Liberty music. I really, I love it, and I love that there's such a variety too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so during this segment, we're going to be discussing what it means. It was actually an article on Reddit, what it means to be a libertarian, and we're also going to be discussing a Cop Block article about why I am joining Open Carry March on Washington, D.C. And during this time, I would like to invite people to call in.
And this is submitted by Christopher Cantwell.
Okay, sweet. That man's on point. Anyway, okay, so let's see here. Let's start with the Adam Kokesh thing, because I was actually talking about that during the break with a friend of mine who's here right now, and we were saying about how we support it. So let's start there. And this is submitted by Christopher Cantwell. So Christopher Cantwell is the one who wrote this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You go ahead and read it out.
All right. And actually, Adam Kokesh covered this earlier. It's where I got the idea to cover this, because it really, I think it really says a lot about what this is all about and what it really means. So let me go ahead and read this. It says, frankly, folks, things are not getting any better. We all know that despite elections, education, and the amazing access to information that mankind has, his tendencies remain largely the same. History shows us that peoples of the past that were on the path we are on now, meet disaster of unspeakable levels, leading to the deaths of millions of people. I fear the only differences between our society and such societies of the past are that nobody ever had centralized political, military, and economic power that the U.S. government has today, nor the technology. Given the expansive influence to the modern weaponry involved, this is shaping up to be something the likes of which mankind has never seen. And it could be happening, in my opinion, at any minute. Perhaps it could even result in the extinction of the human race, in the all-too-possible deployment of a biological weapon, be it intentional or accidental. What he's saying there is, he's saying that, yes, we've had revolutions in the past, but what we have facing us now is a lot different because of what we face with the differences in technology. You know, back when the British and the colonies were fighting, they had virtually the same technology. British were more well trained, but they had the same technology. Now you have, you know, a lot different technology in the military, and the government has better technology. So
yeah, I can't pick up an Apache helicopter down at my local Walmart.
Yeah. So I think this is what he's making the case for his fear of losing any we have with the Second Amendment.
Let me cut in for just 1 second too. I want to say I actually brought that point up in my Where We Stand in History article at jrev.com or journalisticrevolution.com.
Yeah.
I brought up that the odds get exponentially higher each and every time we reach this point in humanity's history. Because I do believe it's a cycle. Okay, and each and every time we reach this point, the odds get higher, and what we have to lose becomes so much greater. Okay. Anyway, continue.
All right, give me a second. I cannot, in good conscience, allow that to happen while there are brave enough men to stand with me against it, and still more men who might be inspired to bravery by our actions. I cannot continue to live in this society unless I am content that I am doing everything within my means to solve this problem, commonly known as the state. I have seen enough violence in my life to know that I don't want any more, so it is my intention to make a bold but peaceful statement. That statement is, should you see fit to continue agonizing me and people I care about, a time will come when this is not peaceful. As you've surely heard, nearly 3 in 10 Americans feel the same way, even for different reasons. That message doesn't make quite the same point in text or video that it does in the form of 1,000 armed men marching towards danger.
Let me cut in right here real quick.
Okay.
The article that we covered earlier, the 2 articles, what happened here in my home county and what happened in California, is a perfect example for the need of a show of force.
Yeah.
Peaceful, because that's what we want. That's our goal here, is peace.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the other side is not playing by the same rules.
Oh no, and they've abused their power for so long, and it's like that post I put up the other day. My 5-year-old, who I was playing a game with, kept making up new rules that only benefited him. Oh my God, the government's a 5-year-old. So I mean, but it's true. I mean, that's what 5-year-olds. Yeah.
I think I'm having an epiphany.
No fucking way! Shit, they're lying to us! Fuck!
That's my epiphany.
There you go. Very good epiphany. But to continue on, Chris states, this demonstration serves several other purposes. To show people the violent and arbitrary nature of the state. It should seem sane to right-thinking people that armed men on one side of an imaginary line are within the law, but being on the other side of the line causes them to fear being fired upon, even while their weapons are slung over their backs, a threat to nobody. To encourage others to stand up to the bully, countless people have said, I would do it if you had more people. But of course, we never get more people if a small group doesn't break down the barrier. If 1,000 go this year, I hope to have 10,000 next year, and 100,000 the year after that, and 1 million the year after that. Perhaps someday a large enough group of men are inspired such that we can actually make these cowards fear for their lives the next time they decide to threaten ours on C-SPAN. I have every expectation that the demonstration, should it happen at all, will result in nothing worse than felony arrests and time in prison, and certainly this is bad enough. There is a possibility that they will attempt to kill us. If they do, then you should all know that you will not be far behind, nor would you be if we had simply stayed home that day. If they are willing to kill us in 2 months, then that decision was made well before we arrived, and the decision would have been made even if we hadn't shown up. Let us be your barometer as to the depravity of the men who claim to be your leaders. The state demands obedience, and it threatens violence against all who disobey. If you seek to be free, you must disobey. Ladies and gentlemen, this is civil disobedience, and we will be covering that later on in the show. Chris continues on. That is what free men do in order to do something against their will. A man is only free if he acts according to his own will. All legislative, educational, and for lack of a better term, weak civil disobedience has failed to turn back the tide in the slightest. It has served only as a distraction from the fact that aggressors will continue to violate peaceful people so long as peaceful people will not stop them by force. We went from dictatorship to democracy nearly 240 years ago, and it hasn't worked out so well. In fact, I'd go back to the 18th century British rule over this government in a heartbeat. Rather than go back, I think to the best hope of men who wish to be free is to concentrate geographically in efforts like the Free State Project, Lone Star Libertopia, or Blue Ridge Liberty Project. Once we are geographically concentrated, we can work on making peaceful the norm and eventually ejecting people from those territories who demand violence be the rule rather than the exception. But even if those efforts are successful, a time must come when they separate themselves from the United States, and last time that happened, there was civil war. If they're not ready, even mentally, to fight that war, then all hope is lost. I hope this stand will help people prepare for that inevitable conflict, whatever its outcome. I hope more brave men will come stand with us before it's too late. Now, I get what Chris is trying to say there. Too many people sit back and they listen to the news and they think everything is okay, and they sit back and they watch their favorite television shows.
It won't happen to me mentality.
Yeah, and that same mentality has happened throughout history. And history does repeat itself, folks. Don't kid yourself.
Well, what a great quote from the Nazi era. First they came for gun owners, or I forget the quote, but that quote describes the it won't happen to me mentality and how it's very dangerous.
Yeah. And it's very, very, it's very sick to listen to. And I witnessed this. And what he was talking about, I would vote that there was more people. It's the same people who said, "Oh, I'd vote for Ron Paul, but he can't win." You people,
if I thought he could win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or if I thought he could win, you people need to get your head out of your ass. He could have won if all of you who told me that he couldn't win would have voted for him.
Well, the numbers showed that after the fact. There were numbers. If you watch the video, a tribute to Ron Paul and his message, or the new updated video, the message lives on. The numbers show that Ron Paul would have won, the Republican nominee, if you will, would have won, but it's not now. I'm sorry, you distracted me with whatever you just sent me. But the numbers show that Ron Paul would have won if he would have been the nominee. He had the Republican numbers. He had the independent. He had, of course, the diehard Ron Paul fans, who a plethora, or a cornucopia, of people. I mean, from liberals and conservatives to independents to libertarians. A lot of people supported that man.
Yeah. It just sickens me because people give so many excuses why they can't do something. And instead of just standing by your principles and doing what is necessary, regardless of the outcome. And that's where I think that's where this movement stands right now, is we need to make people understand that, yeah, right now we're small, but the more people who come join, eventually will grow. So, I don't know.
And that I agree with Cantwell's statement. I think it's logical. I think that I think that history proves that he's right. There is an inevitable conflict when you're trying to evolve past a paradigm. History has proven that time and time again. And every time we get closer and closer to what real freedom is, to what real liberty is. But every time we fail, we see a dark age that is scary and devastating to humanity. And that's my 2 cents. On that note, I'm going to have my friend here pour me another shot, and we're going to move on to the next subject. And if you're listening in, call in about that. I'd like to hear your opinion. Do you agree, disagree? Are you on the fence? Where are you with this armed march? I'd really like to know, and I'd like to know why. As long as it's not some crazy emotional, logical fallacy, I'd really like to know why. Because dissenting voices are important in a freedom movement. So, anyway,
all right.
Next subject. What is a libertarian?
It's not a fancy word for Republican. According to the article I found on, actually I didn't find it, somebody posted it in a thread. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant, so I decided to share it over the radio tonight.
It was on Reddit. It was on Reddit.
Yeah, it was on Reddit.com. If you go to reddit.com/r/libertarian comments, it's just a the name of the article is just a reminder. Libertarian is not a fancy word for Republican. And what I like about that is so many times, and this goes both ways, because if you're arguing with a Republican, you get accused of being liberal, and if you're arguing with a liberal, you get accused of being a conservative.
What is it? What does a libertarian call that? A good day.
Yeah, you're doing something right if you're accused by both sides.
Okay, but let's just go through how he has it listed. Let's not read his opinion. If you want to know this man's opinion in the article, just go to the article, read it, show some love, man. Show up, read it. Okay, but he has it listed in numbers, and I think it's these ones truly ring true. You go first, man. I'll read the next one.
All right. Libertarians are not Republicans. Despite the fact that the media loves to use libertarian as a pejorative when referring to Republicans, is simply not the case. While we are for small government, private enterprise, and minimal to no taxes, we are also for personal freedom. Number two.
Personal freedom means all personal freedom, not just stuff I like.
Are you going to read the whole paragraph?
No. I don't want to read his opinion. I want people there. And if they like what they hear from this, you got to show love to these people who write these articles. Give them their views. Give them their likes. Go here.
All right.
Okay.
Number 3, we don't support war or imperialism.
Number 4, unlike the GOP, libertarian ideology does not march in lockstep.
And I like that. Because anytime there's someone in the Libertarian Party that steps out of line, away from the viewpoint of the Libertarian Party, they have NOTA, which I posted this last night on a thread, something for people to think about. How come the 2 most powerful political parties in our country don't have NOTA? It's NOTA is NOTA. It's none of the above. It means you can vote people out. You can vote the entire executive committee off. The Libertarian Party has done this before. They'll do it again because if you step out of line, you're out. There's no room for corruption. There's no room for circumventing the rules of the party. And this is what I love the most about the Libertarian Party because it keeps people honest.
Yeah, well, and I by default, I guess, because the last time I registered to vote, I registered as a Libertarian. I haven't changed since then. And I'm essentially against parties, but I must respect the Libertarian Party for at least giving that option. I am in no way endorsing or not endorsing the Libertarian Party, but I do respect that decision. Number 5, bullying and slurs don't work on us.
Yes, trolls. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, seriously, I mean, you saw my post yesterday about trolls, and now I'm just getting. I forgot. I guess I haven't ran into them in so long because I kind of have a group, that I communicate with. But reason number 1 they don't work on us is we are kind of liberal on many things.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna sit there and it's like when the liberals attack you for liking gun control, and you're like, well, wait a minute, I'm for everything you are, and you're gonna hit me up with gun control. So I'm like, and you got to sit there and you got to explain to them that you can't just like what you like and expect everybody to be free, because not everybody's going to agree with you, and it drives me. And this goes down to the emotional argument. No good decision comes out of using your emotion to drive the decision. Sorry, been there, done it, made plenty of mistake because of it. No good decision comes from emotion, ever.
Well, I mean, fall in love because of emotion. You make a decision to be with that person. So I wouldn't agree with that statement 100%. Rational or rash emotional decisions. I would say 90% of the time, you are not going to have a good outcome from making a rash emotional decision.
Okay.
Yeah, but the reason that we are liberal about many things is because we don't think along the lines of liberal conservative dichotomy.
Yep.
So, and those are what he listed. I mean, there is a lot more to this article. I want you to go there and like it and read it. And same with Wells' article, by the way, which again was at copblock.org.
Yeah, I think you get more out of it if you read it yourself than just listening to somebody read it over the radio.
Yeah, and the reason we're reading it to you is because we want you to call in and tell us your opinion. We want to know your opinion. We want to hear your argument, your take, which none of you are calling in yet. So I'm a little...
Call us, damn it. Call us.
But that's okay. Okay, so where are we at, Matt? What's next on the agenda of things to complain about or praise?
Break number 2. We got about 6 minutes to actually our break, but we can get early and put a little bit more time and effort into our very last segment if we need to, because we only got 21 minutes for that segment, and civil disobedience is probably one of our favorite types of. I mean, we did that interview with Derek J, and it went very well, and I think that it's my favorite way to how do I say this? To protest, because you're showing. Excuse me, folks. My son is here.
All right. Well, anyway, as he was saying, we got to show civil disobedience. We got to define what it is, because apparently there's a lot of debate about it. Even the police chief of D.C. doesn't understand, apparently, what civil disobedience is. So we wanted to define it, and we want you to help us define it. And what you feel that civil disobedience means to you. I mean, we're going to define it both with the dictionary and with philosophy, but what does it mean to you is really what we want to know. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to smoke a cigarette, take a shot, and then I am going to we're going to come back and we're going to talk about civil disobedience. Right now, you're going.
Sorry about the interruption, folks. I just wanted to say that before we go on break. I apologize.
No reason to apologize. So, this is Taxes Are Stealing by Corporate Avenger.
Listen, you fuckers, you screwheads. Here's a man who would not take it anymore. A man who stood up against the scum, the cunts, the dogs, the filth, the shit. Here is someone who stood up.
Taxes are strong on robbery. The collectors of taxes funnel the majority of funds to policies and institutions counterproductive of spiritual advancement.
Let me guess, you haven't heard that one either?
Nope, never heard that one. Well, good choice. Good choice.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, moving on.
I used to be a DJ, man. I got this.
You got this? That's good to know. I thought my music taste was vast and widespread. You've never shown me this stuff. I've known you for how long? And we've been part of this whole Ron Paul movement since 2007, 2008. And you're just now showing me this stuff? I should smack you.
You were a very different person in 2007, 2008 when I knew you. All right, sir?
Yes, I was the neocon Republican, still loved good music.
Okay, well, all right. You have me there. I'll submit. Okay, so we're moving on.
Statist.
What is civil disobedience? Okay, and I think it's a really good question that needs to be brought up right now. Okay, because people are trying to say what Adam Kokesh is doing is not civil disobedience; it's breaking the law. Which technically technically they're right. It is breaking the law, but it doesn't mean it's any less civil disobedience.
Well, technically, isn't that what civil disobedience is breaking the law in reality?
Well, civil disobedience, according to Wikipedia, this is the Wikipedia definition, okay? We'll go to the Webster's, Merriam, or whatever we can find on it here in a moment. Civil disobedience is the active professed refusal to obey certain laws, demands, and commands of a government or an occupying international power. Civil disobedience is commonly, though not always, defined as being nonviolent resistance. It is one form of civil resistance, which civil resistance is a whole nother matter. In one view, like in India, it could be said that it is a compassion in the form of respectful disagreement. Now, that's according to Wikipedia, and I think that sums it up. I guarantee we're not going to find a better definition.
Oh, yeah. Now, a lot of people, I just don't see at this point, I have to agree with Chris, what other, and you see this going on the Facebook event page for Kokesh. How could you do this? We hope they kill you guys and all this stuff. If nobody comes up with, I don't think anybody can come up with a viable alternative other than to hope for the death. I mean, they're usually the liberals hoping for people to die, which I think is ironic. But
I posted that meme.
Yeah. Which one?
The meme where I got cussed out and asked to die screaming because I said I told her thank you for her opinion.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got cursed out for being polite, folks. I always love when that happens. But no, nobody can come up with. I think the only argument I've heard that somebody said just march without the guns, and I'm like, oh, okay, how is that civil disobedience?
Yeah,
it's not.
It's civil. Well, marching without a permit is civil disobedience.
Okay.
Okay, so if he did march unarmed without a permit, it's still civil disobedience. And I really hate getting permits for a protest. That just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
But it pretty much was told by the police chief, hey, don't bring the guns. We'll help you. Well, you're fine. You don't have to worry about the permit, So it's like they're still kind of spitting in Adam's face with his protest. They're kind of going, oh, yeah, we'll let you do your little marches as long as you don't bring the guns. We don't care about that other stuff, And to me, it's like, would you have asked, and I brought this comparison, would you have asked, if you were part of this the civil rights movement in the 60s, would you have asked Rosa Parks, oh yeah, you could sit in the front, but you can leave your bags in the back. Just sit in the front, don't bring your bags to the we'll let you leave them in the rear. And how is that going to affect change? Many, many, many changes have come from civil disobedience.
I must say, though, logically, that none of us can conclude an outcome from this. Both sides of the fence it's a logical fallacy to say that what is about to happen is going to be the best thing that's happened to the movement since sliced bread, well, since Ron Paul. Okay, so, or to say that the only way this is going to end is a bloodbath. Both of those is a logical fallacy. Do I think it's necessary? Absolutely. I think something like this is necessary. Okay? Mm-hmm. Am I scared? Yeah, fucking right I am. And you should be.
Look, I'm there with just my camera, and it scares the living daylights out of me what could possibly happen. But you know what? It's history, man, and no change was ever made just by sitting on your butt on a couch.
Well, no. The truth should scare the shit out of you. That is something that I've learned throughout history and throughout my life personally, watching how whenever the truth slapped me in the face, it usually began with fear, like, oh, crap, this is going to hurt. You know. So people who are saying that not going out of fear, I cannot respect. Those say they're not going because they can't support marching arms. Sure, that's fine. That's your whatever. Okay. But fear alone is not a good enough reason not to go.
Well, I think we covered a couple shows ago. Fear is a choice.
Yeah, fear is a choice.
That's all it is.
I wanted to move on. Ronald Dworkin held that there are three types of civil disobedience. Okay? He said there was integrity-based, justice-based, and policy-based. Integrity-based civil disobedience occurs when a citizen disobeys a law that he or she feels is immoral, and as in the case of the Northerners disobeying the fugitive slave laws by refusing to turn over escaped slave authorities. Justice-based civil disobedience that occurs when a citizen disobeys a law in order to lay claim to some right denied to him or her, when blacks illegally protested during the civil rights movement. And then policy-based civil disobedience that occurs when a person breaks the law in order to change a policy he or she believes is dangerously wrong. Now, what was the common equation to all three types of civil disobedience?
They all involved government.
Oh, man, they all broke the law.
Well, true.
So that there, in a sense, takes away the DC police chief's argument that this isn't civil disobedience, this is breaking the law. As a matter of fact, I have a clip. Hold on one second. I'm going to play that for you.
Chief, what can you tell us about the man? I don't actually know where he lives, but he's an internet radio talk show host, and he says we need to push back against the government a bit. And the way to do that is to take some armed guns, rifles, what have you, put them on our backs, and march across Memorial Bridge on July 4th. Will they be allowed into the city?
Well, first I want to clear up, there's a difference between civil disobedience, which I think is this is being portrayed as a civil disobedience, and actually violation of the law. I mean, there's two different things here. So civil disobedience, people come to Washington, D.C. to protest policies and government policy all the time. It's no problem. But when you cross into the District of Columbia with firearms and you're not in compliance with the law, now you're talking about a criminal offense, and there's going to be some action by police. So obviously we have not, there's no permit that has been filed by the organizer. We have not made contact directly with the organizer yet, but we will, and we'll make sure that they understand that if they want to pass through the District of Columbia with firearms, as long as they're in compliance with the firearms laws for transportation of firearms through the district, we're all for it. But
there's so many logical fallacies in that statement. That was freaking. I don't even know where to begin.
I do. I hate, and I'm using this. She's an idiot. I'm sorry. That's just breaking the law. That's not civil disobedience. Really? So let's go back as far as the Boston Tea Party, when the guys were just tossing tea into the ocean. But they were breaking the law. That was civil disobedience. Or wait, that wasn't civil disobedience. They were breaking the law.
No, they were treasonous bastards who all should have been put in jail. Yeah, that they how dare they reject the crown?
And people need to realize that those guys, our founding fathers, would have been called terrorists in today's society.
Now, I'm not saying that terrorism has a place, the tactic.
No.
Okay, but civil disobedience is not terrorism.
But what I'm telling you is based on the definitions of terrorism in our society today. I'm not talking about real terrorism. I'm talking about what the United States has coined the term and labeled many people as terrorists.
Terrorist LLC?
Those guys would have been considered terrorists. And it's sickening to me.
Well, by that definition, anybody, technically, if you go by what anybody in history would be a terrorist by the definition of today's standards.
But that's what they've labeled out. I mean, what is the list? I mean,
if
you
label him a criminal now, that's the national narrative. This man is a criminal.
Yeah.
He's not an activist. He doesn't have a point to make. He's just plainly a criminal, trying to take away from what he is saying the message of this is.
Or twist it.
Yeah, or twist it. I mean, we all see the trolls on the event page. You know, we see that. You know, it's just, but don't feed the trolls, guys. That's my request to you. Is just don't feed the trolls. They're
and if you are going to get involved, kill them with kindness.
Try to. And I say try to because I know people like Christopher Cantwell. I watch his comments. That man doesn't kill anybody with kindness, but he kills them.
I'm perfectly okay with it.
And I love his style. I love his technique. It's not mine, okay, but it's his own, and it's brilliant. Some just can't argue against what he says sometimes. It's brutally honest. It's awesome. He's a comedian. It makes sense that it would be that funny.
I think one of my favorite comments he made was he told one guy that he hoped that after the dollar collapses, all he had was water so he would starve to death slowly. How do you combat that?
No, I know you are, but what am I? Okay, we're going off subject here. All right, so civil disobedience apparently has 3 levels. All 3 levels involve breaking law. So how is what Adam Kokesh doing not civil disobedience? I would really like to know. As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this in the archive section, you're not listening live, our email address is info@journalisticrevolution.com. Email me, tell me, explain to me logically, factually, with historical references even, or even philosophical references about why what Adam Kokesh is doing is not simply civil disobedience.
And remember, folks, shall not commit logical fallacies.
Yes. Speaking of which, that video will be uploaded to YouTube today. We are starting a series on logical fallacies on both how to combat and avoid using logical fallacies, because my brothers and sisters in freedom and in liberty, you too are guilty of using logical fallacies. And that's okay. We're all guilty of it. But let's teach each other how to not be guilty of it. And in that way, at least intellectually, we always take the high road.
I agree.
Okay. I knew you would.
All right. I have to. Somebody commented the other day that Adam Kokesh, because I wasn't comparing Adam Kokesh to Martin Luther King Jr. I was merely pointing out the fact that civil disobedience was used by, a man of the cloth. Now, he's a pastor, and he broke the law in civil disobedience to get attention to a cause that needed attention. So I brought up the comparison of what Adam was doing. And she said that, Adam Kokesh is no Martin Luther King Jr. I said, well, okay, so he's no Martin Luther King Jr., so he has no right to civilly disobey. He has no right to civil disobedience because he's no Martin Luther King Jr.
She knows
that
he's
right?
white, right?
What?
She knows that he's white, right?
Yeah, I believe she does.
So, I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious that he wasn't Martin Luther King Jr. I expect him to be. I expect him to be Adam Kokesh.
Yeah.
And if you watch his videos, his examples in civil disobedience, his past examples, this makes sense. And nothing he's done in the past has ended violently on his behalf.
Yeah. And people, I just don't trust him. He's a shill. He's violent in nature, man. I have hung out with Adam Kokesh. I've watched every video he has posted. I have not seen one thing that he's done that would define violence. And I think people take to, oh, well, he dressed in a tank top and he had long hair and he had a long goatee and he just looked dangerous, or whatever. Perception is reality. But I have yet to see anything violent come from that man.
Not yet. I have disagreed and still disagree with many, many things that Adam Kokesh believes, espouses, and has has done or believed in or whatever. But I can't say that he's a violent man.
No. And I even asked for proof that show me something that he's done that is violent. Show me.
Where's the burden of proof lie on that one? I really want to know. In a real debate, where does the burden of proof lie? Because I know that when you do a straw man, to actively combat a straw man, is you put the burden of proof on the person who put the straw man up there. How does this equal that, right? And the burden of proof needs to be put on them on that. I know where it goes on a slippery slope. I know where it goes on ad hominem. You know what I mean? Where does it go on? Would that be an ad hominem, saying that you don't trust him, you don't like him?
I would say it is an ad hominem. Me personally, I mean,
so the fall on them.
Yeah, well, I think anytime you make any kind of accusation, whether it's a logical fallacy or a really good accusation that you can back up facts, it's always the burden of the proof on the accuser. I mean, that's the way it is in court, whether you believe the judiciary system or not. If you're going to come out, I always tell people when they jump on my Facebook posts or whatever and they make a comment, some kind of accusation, and I'm like, well, give me some proof. Well, I don't have time to go judging through all this. You know it by heart. You must know where the source is. It should only take you seconds. You either have it or you don't, and you're wasting my time. If you don't have proof, then you're just giving me your opinion and you're wasting my time. And I have, other than a couple people, Robert, we've been in debates where you always come up with proof if I ask for it. But most people don't really have proof. They just have their logical fallacies that they take and believe as fact because it's in their head. And the burden of proof always lies on the accuser. Always.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. So anyway, moving on from that one. The argument that what Adam is doing is not civil disobedience, I think, is significantly disproven. Now, if you want to change the argument and say that you don't agree with walking through in arms, you don't agree with other things that Adam is doing, then that's debatable. We can have that conversation. But to try and redefine language is immoral because it intentionally drives people away from the truth of the situation and the reality of what someone is doing. And Adam has not called for violence. He did say it's a revolutionary act, that it's an armed revolutionary act. Okay. Well, but he did not say, but this is, any civil disobedience is a revolutionary act.
Rob, if I'm carrying my .45, I have a concealed weapons permit, and I'm carrying it on me, I'm armed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I being violent?
Well, according to these proponents, yes.
Okay, but that's the logical fallacy. They're like, well, he's armed, so he's supposed to be being violent. Well, no. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people carry guns all the time. You don't even know it. And unless they were being violent, you're still not going to know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are some examples then of civil disobedience in history?
Well, I brought up a couple. I mean, you've got Boston Tea Party, you've got Rosa Parks, you've got, Gandhi used civil disobedience. That's where I'm wondering. Did Gandhi break the law in his civil disobedience? I don't know a whole lot of history behind Gandhi, but I know he's been mentioned many times in the argument of civil disobedience.
Technically, I guess he would have broke international law because the government that took over his country told him he was no longer allowed to do that, and then eventually banished him. So I guess, of course, every revolutionary broke the law because some guy with a gun told him they're not allowed to do that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it just seems you don't have to agree with what someone is doing, but you can't redefine language. And so several examples. You have Rosa Parks, you got James Bevel, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Susan B. Anthony, the Libertarian Civil Disobedience by Free State Project that's going on.
Yeah.
Technically what they're doing is civil disobedience. Even Derek J. is all about that Keene area and that Derek J's victimless crime spree.
Folks, if you want to see a really fun movie, it's about an hour and a half long. It documents Derek J. and if you could actually watch our interview, he basically said his whole goal was not to put together a victimless crime spree, but it just turned out being that way. And if you watch his movie, Victimless Crime Spree, you will watch this man go through and do everything he can to circumvent unjust laws, ridiculous unjust laws, and I love him for it. I think what he did is a prime example of civil disobedience, and I think that if you're gonna draw a parallel or a difference between what Adam Kokesh is doing and what Adam Kokesh trying to draw thousands of people to basically do the same thing that Derek J. had done on his own many, many times.
Well, the only difference is Adam's armed. Honestly, that's the only difference. He's breaking a law that every revolutionary, every activist has done. Okay?
Yeah.
And they've broken a law. Regardless of what the law is, they've broken one to prove a point. His is guns, which is so taboo right now because of the tragedies that have happened, which people are blaming guns for and not people. And that's why I think that people are going crazy about this.
Yeah. Well, I put my 45 away when I get home, and every time I come home or I leave the room, I just come back just to make sure it never moved. Because Lord knows that thing is going to grow legs, walk out, and commit a crime somewhere if not watching it constantly.
Well, if you're to believe the anti-gun people, the extreme anti-gun people, I've had people give me their logical reason of why they want gun control, and that's acceptable. That's debatable. We can debate that. We can have a conversation. But these people, like with meme I put up, of them telling me that they hope that I die screaming and hope they get gunned down. While we're at this march, I just don't understand how these people are saying that for peace.
I'm for peace. Don't march with your guns or I hope you die. Okay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, all right, we're going to take another break real quick, promote some people that we think are really good, listen to some music. And when we come back, we want you to call in. I've been posting the number, but I'm saying it loud because I just thought that maybe you guys you don't have the number. It is 234176713.
That's why you're not calling.
That it could be. It could be. It's not
Repeat
my fault.
That number.
It is 323-417-6713. Call in. Tell us what you think about any subject we discussed today, from the Peace News Now, Bitcoins, to the cops killing innocent people. Any subject.
No. You know what? No, bring up a new subject. Let's widen this up. Let's get some people to call in. Bring up a new subject. If it has something to do with activism, liberty, something, just bring it up. Let's get some people calling in.
I don't see how that would make a difference. Call in.
I don't know.
Talk about any subject. So
it's a cry for help, man.
Cry for help. I don't need help. I'm a libertarian. I believe in personal responsibility.
Fair enough.
I want people to call in because I want to hear a dissenting voice. It'd be really nice for someone to disagree with me, essentially, fundamentally even, but without emotionally charged responses.
Before we go on break, I had a really good idea last night, and I thought about it because you go to Adam Kokesh's page, and you can't even enjoy talking to people that we know in the liberty movement. You got all these trolls just destroying that whole event page. And I almost had an idea. And I thought about running it by you. I'm going to run it by you right now. We'll put up a post. Trolls welcome, one at a time. And we offer up a debate. And if they use logical fallacies, they get one strike. The second time, they get blocked or reported. And they have to come in there with a logical debate of why this is bad, to see if there's even one of them that can look beyond their emotion and their BS arguments and come up with a reasonable argument not to do this. And
I've run into a few that were not emotionally charged. But the problem is they're completely drowned out from these copy and paste trolls. But that's neither here nor there. You know, I like your idea, but I don't believe in censorship. You know?
But I mean, they come at their own peril. You tell them the rules before you get there.
Okay. It sounds a lot like the government. Hey, you're born. These are the rules. Before you get older, these are the rules.
They don't have to. That's wrong, because it's an offer. They don't have to go into that particular thread, that particular debate. I'm not saying that they have to in order to come in. They can keep trolling all the other posts. This is just offer to see what kind of gumption and debate and ability they have.
You're gambling. You're asking, but who's the judge? You gotta have an impartial judge. And if you're gonna gamble reporting on Facebook,
no, because there's no winner in the actual debate, because there is no impartial judge. The decision would be basically on their logic fallacies. That does not need impartiality because we have the definitions for them.
So you're saying that they have to obey the rules of debate.
Basically, if they want to come in and they want to debate and they want to come in and espouse their views and they think they're so stinking smart and they know what they're talking about, then they have to obey the rules of debate. And they come at their own peril and they risk it. It is a gamble.
Give it a shot, man. I give it much hope.
I'm not doing it on my own. You're crazy. I don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. It's part of the reason why I didn't even bring it up.
There's no way. You could not get me to... You couldn't pay me to argue with trolls all day. You couldn't do it. You see how I handle them. I tell them, thank you for their opinion and have a great day or have a great weekend. That's how I handle trolls. If they keep going, I tell them thank you, and if they keep going and they harass me, I report them.
No. See, for me, I told you this comparison last night. For me, arguing with trolls is kind of like going to a theme park. You can't do it every day. You know you're going to wind up wasting a whole day. But it's fun to do it when you can.
Yeah. No, it is, but it's I like doing it like how I showed the meme. Okay, I like doing it to where it's artfully and done. You know, where the contrast is so ridiculous. Where you see me saying thank you and God bless you and I hope you have a great weekend, and the person's all like, please die screaming. You know, you're just like, oh my goodness. You know, those are I love destroying a troll that way. But that's me. But then there's people like Christopher Well and yourself who like to get them in gotchas, and I think that's hilarious. It's not my style. I love seeing it happen. It can be trolling can be an art form, and there are some very, very artful people out there as far as trolling goes. But
it's called trolling trolls. And the way
there's no such thing as trolling. There's trolling on the other side.
No, because I don't go into their house and troll, okay? If they come into my house, I'm going to do to them what they're doing to us, and I'm going to bust on them and troll on them. I find nothing wrong with that because they're in my house. That's the way I look at it.
Created that event?
They're in, what I mean? They're in my world.
Facebook's your world now?
You're going to argue semantics with me. Go to the break. Go to the break. Go to the break.
That's why I love you. Oh, man. Okay. So anyway, we're going to go to break. I think that, just like I said, we're going to promote a group of people that I think are all on the same side, and you should try and help them out. All right.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
Who are these monsters inside my head? They give me uneasy feelings. They tell me go to sleep, just go to bed. But I'm awake and I'm not dreaming. What can I do to make a change? 'Cause I just wanna be free. I don't want a police state. I just want love and liberty. Call up a friend, send a message. Tweet it up or make a YouTube video. Speak your mind with education. The knowledge starts to grow. So make a YouTube video. Make a YouTube video. We all know about corruption, and we have started to descend. The banks, the Fed, assassination, but you can't kill 99%. What can we do to make a change? 'Cause we just wanna be free. We don't want this police state. We just want love and liberty. Call up a friend, send a message. Tweet it up or make a YouTube video. Speak your mind with education. The knowledge will start to grow. So make a YouTube video. Make a YouTube video. We all need a hero, a patriot in this civil war. Won't find him on the TV or on the radio. We have the power can finally find the truth. Turn to each other, sister and brother, reach out to one another. Call up a friend, send a message, tweet it up or make a YouTube video. Speak your mind with education. The knowledge starts to grow. So make a YouTube video. Make a YouTube video. Make a YouTube video. Make a YouTube video.
Ah, Tatiana.
It's funny you played her song because earlier she posted a really reasonable concern in the event page for Adam Kokesh's march, and it wasn't a disagreement with what we were doing, or it wasn't don't do it guys. I mean, she just was generally concerned, and she knows these people. She knows most of these people that are going to be there. So the general,
she has personal investment.
Yeah, I mean, and she had this general concern. So tried to troll her, and that's where Chris came in with that. I hope you die slowly of starvation. That Chris just went at him. I was like, I even warned the guys, look, you're in the wrong thread to troll if you're going to attack Tatiana, because she's so loved within this group, this family, that you're not going to get away with something like that. You might get away with it all the other threads, but you're not going to get away with it going after Tatiana.
Yeah.
And
no,
which I thought was hilarious.
That's hilarious. That it is. I remember when you told me about that. I got a chuckle. I thought it was pretty funny. So this is the last half hour. This is where we beg you guys to call. Okay, this is where we want to know your opinion about all the subjects that were brought up. Tell us if we are wrong, or debate us and tell us where we have a logical fallacy of our own, because everybody's guilty of it. No one is 100% logical fallacy free. And
if we weren't begging enough already.
33417-6713 is the number. Call in. Let us know. Have a drink with us. I have a shot here. I will not take the shot until someone calls in and takes it with me.
Oh, Lord.
It's Friday. Why not?
Now, while we're waiting on callers, we got one more story to cover. The IRS admits targeting conservatives for tax scrutiny in the 2012 election.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're apologizing.
They're apologizing. Well, thanks for apologizing for being the IRS. Now just go away.
I'm sorry, we're the IRS.
Just go away. Don't go in mad.
Shit, they're lying to us. Fuck!
No, honestly, I mean, look, I don't see how anybody grows up in life and says, oh, yeah, I'm going to be an accountant one day. I'm going to be an accountant. And then you come to school and you're like, I want to go work for the IRS. Yeah, I want everybody to hate me. I mean, I've met plenty of accountants in my life. I've never met an IRS agent, and I bet the accountants I've met were lying to me.
I had ex-IRS agents before, but I've never met a currently working one before. I think they're clones.
No, I think they just don't want to tell anybody work for the IRS.
I think they're lizard people clones that they use because the IRS is just a huge entity that sucks the life force out of every living creature on the planet.
It's kind of like when I see a TSA agent wearing their uniform outside of working. Why?
But to this story, there were 300 groups affected by this.
I don't doubt it.
130 of them had their tax-exempt status approved, and 25 of them withdrawn their applications from the tax-exempt status. But I guess they outed these poor bastards. went after them hardcore.
Oh yeah, but okay. Let me ask you a question. It's the IRS. We know it's the IRS. We don't like the IRS. We don't like taxes. But was the IRS purposely pointing them out because they're a Tea Party and they don't like taxes? Or who gave the order to purposely go after?
I mean, okay, put yourself in the position. You work for the IRS, right? You happen to like your job. They pay you a lot of money. You get to be an asshole to a whole bunch of people, right? And so it's a dream job for you, let's say, right? And so you're doing this. And then these groups come out called the Tea Party, Tax Enough Already Party, right?
Yeah.
And they start talking about the IRS, and then the Libertarians and the Ron Paul Republicans come out for the abolishment of you. Wouldn't you attack them?
I suppose, but you have to know as an IRS agent that, damn it, I hate saying it, but I mean, unless there is a revolution, the taxes aren't going anywhere. I mean, not unless we really get somebody in who just says, like Ron Paul, forget the IRS, just get rid of them. We'll abolish them immediately. Unless we get somebody like that, the Tea Party wasn't going to do anything. I mean, they lasted, months before they got co-opted?
Yeah, and it became another branch of the Republican Party, which seems to be going on nowadays.
Yeah, and you know what? And this is kind of why I like...
With the Liberty Party. With the Liberty
you know what but you know what I like about the Liberty Party, it's not an actual political party. You know what I like about the Liberty movement? Is that because we're so widespread and we're so disagree with each other, there's no co-opting it. There's no way to co-opt it. Despite the bickering, and as much as I hate the bickering back and forth, as much as I hate, and as hard as it is to get people to organize because everybody's got all these all these different ideas and philosophies, it can't be co-opted.
Well, yeah, because we're the fringe, man. We can't be co-opted. No one wants to associate with us, apparently. You know, you know, if I was to believe the mainstream rhetoric and all this stuff that I see in by these trolls, if I was to believe it, you know, we're coming for you. You better watch out. We're at your window right now with hookers and heroin and guns, and you know, and we're gonna break into your window. We're gonna force you to live your life like degenerates.
When you say we're out their window with hookers, do you mean the kind of hookers that you throw up to climb up, or do you mean hookers as in prostitutes?
As in prostitutes.
I was just making sure because it was just funny because it works both ways.
That's what she said.
Ah.
But you know, but if you were to believe that mainstream rhetoric, that's what you would think we are, but we're not. I mean, we're a gaggle of you know, people, but
clusterfuck, if you will,
a clusterfuck, if you will. But I mean, we're far from that. I'm a you know, married father of 3 beautiful girls, and you know, I do this on the side, and you know, and I try to stay involved in all manners and bring peace, and I'm a Christian. And then you have people out there in the Liberty movement who are atheists, and I get along just fine with those people. And then you have the Ron Paul Republicans. What's wrong with them? Nothing in my eyes. They want liberty. They want the exact same goal as me. No, but we can work together for now, and you know, and we can figure that other crap out later once we actually achieved something.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's the beauty of the freedom movement, of the liberty movement, of those who try to embrace the message of liberty on any level.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, is that it doesn't matter where you are. We all want to be able to do whatever the hell we want, as long as it's not harming anyone else physically or monetarily.
And I agree with that.
what level of that we can debate later. Let's
with varying levels.
Oh yes, with varying levels, varying degrees of confidence.
Varying degrees of confidence.
With varying degrees of confidence on what liberty is.
Oh, where are we at? I think we lost track a little bit. Oh, the IRS.
The IRS. They're targeting people who don't like them. I mean, essentially. And is there going to be any charges? No. Why? Because they apologized. So it's over and done with. We're good.
Oh.
Thank God.
Administrative leave.
You guys remember a man flew his plane into the fucking IRS building.
Yep.
Just recently.
How recent?
Well, okay, within the last few years. When was it? I mean, this is in our era. This is in the era of the freedom movement, of the Tea Party movement, of the Occupy movement, of the we don't know what is wrong with our country anymore, but something needs to be fixed era of America. And yeah. I lost my train of thought.
That's all right, man. It's near the end of the show, and you've been drinking. It's totally excusable.
I have, and I can't take my shot yet because no one's called in.
You know what? I'm begging people. Don't call in so he doesn't get to take that shot.
Come on, there's only 13 minutes left. Somebody's got to take this shot with me before we play the outro song. Okay? I mean, maybe you don't believe in status juice, okay? but
what the fuck?
Yeah, alcohol. It's status juice, man. It's great. You know, it numbs you down. You don't really care what they do anymore. You know, you can put makeup on somebody who's drank enough status juice.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
But I know you may not believe in the status juice. You may not partake in the status juice. Just call in so I can take the shot. Call in and tell me you don't like me. You know, call in. Where's that troll?
Andrew? Oh, man, I miss Andrew.
Andrew was good. Andrew, if you are out there,
call in just so you can take a shot.
Call in. Tell us about how you found hidden footage of Blackwater and the FBI and how it's hidden in a porn site.
Yeah. By the way, Andrew, thank God I have a VAST because I had to block a malicious malware because of that stupid thing.
Hey, I don't blame Andrew. He's just expressing his civil disobedience. I can't be mad. You know, he trolled me. He got me. Yeah. So, okay, last 15 minutes, guys. Come on, call in. It's 323-417-6713. We have talked about Bakersfield, California, a dad who died while getting beaten by the police and begging for his life. We talked about a Florida man who had a similar incident who was ran over by the police. We talked about a mask that can give you superhuman abilities. How can you not want to call in and talk about that? What would you do with it? We know it's not legal. Anyway, so, and we talked about how the NBC got caught yet again selectively editing video to push their agenda. An article by Christopher Cantwell on copblock.org, and his very reasonable and logical reason for why he is supporting the open carry march on Washington. We discussed what a libertarian is and what a libertarian isn't. We discussed the IRS and how they targeted people who disagreed with them, and what civil disobedience is and examples of it throughout history. You can't tell me there isn't something in that you want to talk about. So, what about you, Matt? Which one caught your attention? Which one made you think, fuck, we're fucked?
Everything we no, I'm just kidding. Really the cops just killing people left and right for no reason while they're begging for life. I mean, that's really about the only negative thing we covered. We got cock.org while I'm joining. I mean, Reddit, Libertarian, Washington Post. I mean, IRS admits to doing something wrong, which is always great. I think if there's something in there that's really got my attention, like, holy crap, we're fucked, it's going to be the cops just killing people left and right, which we actually covered that before. You are 8 times more likely to get killed by a police officer than a terrorist, and the militarization of police. And that's why big fans of organizations like Oath Keepers and CopBlock.org.
InnocentDown.org, who helped document all these innocent murders throughout the United States.
Yeah. Who else is out there that does a really fine job of stuff like this? I mean, we do it. Yeah, what the heck? We'll just float our own boat. Nobody's calling in.
Really?
No, not really.
So,
oh, the last 5 minutes, man. We ran out of shit to talk about. Here, let's see here. What's on Facebook? What's trending on Facebook here?
I'm still impressed that all of which we talk about isn't in media. I mean,
it's not in the media.
I've heard this on, listening to Liberty Movement Radio. I've heard this on a couple people talk about situations like this. Adam versus the Man, of course, is covering his own event. And the Bitcoin being accepted damn near everywhere now is a great takeaway from tonight's show.
Yes.
And make sure you log into Peace News now to recap that and find out again about that. I think that the rate compared to civilians being killed by police officers versus the rate police officers are killed by civilians should outrage us. And I think that, we should see more action when it comes to that. I think that the technology of this mask is very interesting, and I love the free market, and I can't wait to see what else it produces. I think that the IRS admitting that they target people who disagree with them is just another example of why Adam Kokesh is committing civil disobedience and not just breaking laws, as some would have us believe. And I believe that all of that should have been reported on today.
Yeah.
All of it.
All of it. And instead of us having to report on the lies of a news organization, we should not have these as stories. We should not be able to find stories for whoops, wrong meeting.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that we can find them. Don't get me wrong, because it's fun for us to cover it, but we should not be able to find these stories. So I think that's kind of what upsets me but it's because of them that I have it's not like a job. I don't get really paid to do this, but it's why we have a job to do.
Well, I think we have a duty. Now, but at that same time, as in the mission statement, we have to be open source. If we are wrong, we have to hold ourselves to that same standard, and people have to call us out on it. And I want people to understand that, and that's why I welcome dissenting voices. Freedom cannot exist without dissent. It just can't. And so I really will press that we are not above reproach. You're allowed to disagree with us. Just keep it logical, keep it civil, talk to me like I'm a human being. And, never mind, you're not going to. It's Facebook and the internet. And, and at your rally, you're going to insult us for having a camera and asking you certain questions. It's going to happen. Never mind. For the rest of you who are going to be on that path, being pushed, getting yelled at, let's just do stuff like armed marches and political rallies and ignore them on the internet, because they are irrelevant there.
Yeah. No.
Go ahead and plug our people, man.
Our wrap up, folks. How do you like that? JournalistRevolution.com. Check us out. You can see some of our articles, some of our previous videos. We will continue to put videos up for YouTube as well as in the shows, because it's what we love to do. Check out Liberty Movement Radio, where we will be joining them here in the near future.
Right now.
Well, I know we're on there right now, but I didn't know if this was an official thing or a test thing, so I was just covering my butt on that one. They also feature Adam versus the Men with Adam Kesh, Trip NWO fighter show with Trip Pugh, one of our best friends. We Are Not Cattle with Jake Counts, very good show. We met him in Atlanta. The Houston Freethinkers with Derek Rose, Peace News Now. Thanks again, Eric J. Freeman, for our beginning segment news. Cerebral Industrial Complex with Josh Wiley, another great guy we met in Atlanta. We Are Changed with Luke Radowski. I love watching videos. Panda, People Against the National Defense Authorization Act with Dan Johnson. We have the 1787 Network with Alex Schnichter. Revolution on Recliner on Conrad and Rob Gasterling. ShinyBadges.com with Davey Barker. Again, folks, if you have an organization or business and you want a product to sell, check out ShinyBadges.com. You can buy these at a reasonable price and you can still sell at a reasonable price. And again, our not last but not least, our Weatherman Suspicious Observer. Check him out on YouTube. And we basically update his show every day on our website at www.journalisticrevolution.com. Thanks again for listening.
All right, we're going to leave you with The Point of No Return by Immortal Technique.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. It's that real this time around. Immortal Technique. Revolutionary Volume 2. It's on now, motherfucker. Lock and load. This is the point of no return. I can never go back. Life without parole, upstage, shackled and trapped. Living in the hole, looking at the world through a crack. Fuck that. I'd rather shoot it out and get clapped. I've gone too far, there ain't no coming back for me. Auschwitz gas chamber full of Zyklon B. Just like the Spanish exterminating Tainos, raping the black and Indian women, creating Latinos. Motherfuckers made me out of self-righteous hatred, and now you got yourself a virus stuck in the matrix, a suicide bomber strapped and ready to blow. Lethal injection, strapped down, ready to go. Don't you understand? They'll never let me live out in peace. Concrete jungle, guerrilla war out in the streets. Nat Turner with the sickle, pitchfork and machete. The end of the world, motherfucker, you not ready. This is the point of no return, and nobody can stop it. Malcolm Little when he knelt before Elijah Muhammad, the comet that killed the dinosaurs, changing the earth. They love to criticize, they always say I changed for the worse. Like prescription pills when you misusing them, nigga. The Templar Knights when they took Jerusalem, nigga, and figured out what was buried under Solomon's temple, Al-Aqsa. The name is not coincidental. I know too much, the government is trying to murder me. No coming back like cutting your wrists open vertically. How could the serpent be purposely put in charge of the country? Genetic engineered sickness spread amongst me. My people are so hungry that they attack without reason, like a fucking dog ripping off the hand that feeds them. Immortal Technique is treason to the Patriot Act. So come and get me, motherfucker, cause I'm not coming back. This is the point from which I can never return, and if I back down now, then forever I burn. This is the point from which I can never retreat, cause if I turn back now, there can never be peace. This is the point from which I will die, succeed, live in the struggle. I know I'm alive when I bleed. From now on, it can never be the same as before, cause the place that I'm from doesn't exist anymore. This is the point of no return, nigga, you better believe this. Mary Magdalene giving birth to the children of Jesus. The evolution of the world, bloody and dramatic. Human beings killing monkeys to conquer the planet. The kingdoms of Africa and Mesopotamia. Machine gun your body with depleted uranium. This is the age of microchips and titanium. The dark side of the moon, in contact with aliens. I started out like Australians, criminal-minded, broke into hell, tore it down and built a city behind it. Southpaw, murderous methodology, nigga. Remember that I'm just a man, don't follow me, nigga. Cause once you pass the point, you can never go home. You gotta face the possibility of dying alone. So tell me, motherfucker, how could you die for the throne when you don't even got the fucking heart to die for your own? It rains acid, one day the earth will cry from a stone, and you'll be looking at the world living inside of a dome. Computerized humanity living inside of a clone. This is the place where the unknown is living and real. Wormwood, the Planet X, and the Seventh Seal. Universal truth is not measured in mass appeal. This is the last time that I kneel and pray to the sky, cause almost everything that I was ever told was a lie. This is the point from which I can never return. And if I back down now, then forever I burn. This is the point from which I can never retreat. Cause if I turn back now, there can never be peace. This is the point from which I will die, succeed, live in the struggle. I know I'm alive when I bleed. From now on, it can never be the same as before. Cause the place that I'm from doesn't exist anymore.